Welcome to Kentucky Horsepower, the official podcast of the Kentucky Automobile Dealers Association. Hi, everyone, and good to be with you today. Welcome to the latest edition of Kentucky Horsepower, the official podcast of KADA. And joining me is Vice President of Legislative Affairs, Sarah Bishop. Sarah, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
We finally got some rain here, so
Yeah,
we got that going for us.
nice. Well, let's get right to it. Today's topic is our upcoming district meetings. We've been doing these now for many years, and those of you that have attended in the past, it's always a great time for us to get out there, meet with you all, tell you what's going on with the association, and then also share a little bit about what we're looking at legislatively in this upcoming session. So, Sarah, why don't you give some of the details and talk about times and places, and we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to kick things off on October the 7th. That'll be our first week of district meetings. October the 7th, we're going to have actually our first lunch meeting in Lexington. So we're trying out a little bit of a new format there to see how people like converting some of these to a lunch meeting and seeing how that goes. So that's at noon at the same place we've had it the last few years in Lexington. That's at the Embassy Suites UK Coldstream out by the interstate there. So that's our Lexington meeting. Then the next night, we're back to evening meetings now, will be at the Hurstbourne Country Club in Louisville. That's on October the 8th. And it starts at 5:30 with a cocktail reception, and then we'll have dinner at 6. That's going to be the format for all the evening meetings, including the next night, October the 9th, at the Hilton Cincinnati Airport in Florence, our Northern Kentucky meeting. So that kind of covers our central and east regions that first week. And
Sure.
then the following week, we're going to head to Hopkinsville on October the 15th. That's another evening meeting at the Bruce Convention Center in Hopkinsville. And then we'll close things out on October 16th at the Holiday Inn University Plaza in Bowling Green. That's always a really well-attended meeting, so we always look forward to closing it out with that one.
So we have one new time, which is Lexington for lunch, and then one new location that we're moving to Hopkinsville. Formerly, we've been at Lake Barkley, which I know everybody loves going there, but they're under some renovations and doing some things there. Isn't that right?
That's right. They will be back and better next year, I believe. We haven't confirmed yet, but we think they'll be ready for us again next year at Lake Barkley.
Sounds good. Look, a couple things and a couple disclosures. One, for those who haven't been before, again, this is an opportunity where we talk about the association, what's going on, the state of things, but we also talk about what's going on in the industry as a whole, and more specifically, legislation that we're considering bringing in the next legislative session. And Sarah, I know we do have some legislators attending. Talk about that just for a moment.
Yeah, so we will have it's typical that we have legislators attend these events. They like to see their constituents in their communities, and we like to have them there. We'll also have a representative or senator speaking at each meeting. So it's great to kind of hear their perspectives, especially as we head into a budget session this year. And we like for them to hear our perspectives because we certainly will be discussing what our legislative agenda is going to look like next year, what some of the changes we're looking to make are, and really what's top of mind for dealers across the state. And I think, at least for you and me, it's exciting to get to go on the road and kind of see folks that maybe don't always get to our meetings when they're in Frankfort or, Louisville or Lexington. So it's nice to see people from all over.
Yep, very much so. And as Sarah mentioned, it really is an opportunity for us to kind of give a bit of a preview to the legislators and the audience of what our agenda and what things we're going to be taking up this year. And it's fluid. I'll begin by that. And also, as I said, in full disclosure, I will not be at the first 3 meetings the first week for that very reason. I'm going to a meeting with General Motors, and a number of my peers are going there to discuss some of the very items we're going to be looking at taking up this year. So we're fortunate. Our chairman has agreed to step up and help out with things and cover for me, so to speak. So Sarah and Rob Marshall, our current chair this year, will be running that first week meetings, and then I'll be with you all the second week. So, and we'll see. As I said, these things are always fluid, but given the nature of the meetings and who the meetings are with, which in this case is some really high ranking folks within General Motors, our chairman thought it was best that I attend that. So that's what I'll be doing, and there'll be more to update there as we get a little bit closer. But Sarah, what are some other reasons that, it's not just the dealers, but we have a number of our dealers that bring their staff, right?
It's a great opportunity for kind of your management level staff to see what KADA does, what we talk about, and really they're going to learn and they're going to find out what the latest news and initiatives are, but they're also going to see what KADA does. And we'll be talking some about our educational platform and our opportunities there for them to take our virtual classes or come to our in-person events. And they get to kind of network with not only legislators, but their fellow dealers. And we have such a good community of dealers that I think they really have learned to love seeing each other.
Very, very true. And I can tell you, not every state is like that. Kentucky's special that way, I think, as evidenced by not only our district meetings, but our conventions when we all get together. It really is sort of a family feel that we have. So, our ask, meaning from the KADA perspective, we want you to be there. Take the time, be there if at all possible. If you cannot be there, meaning the dealer cannot be there, send one of your people there, because I promise you it's going to be good information. It's going to give you some insight on what we're doing on your behalf. All the work that we do and put forth in our legislative sessions are based at the direction and what we're hearing back regarding our board members as things that are important. So it's really important you guys are clued into those things, because when you get those calls over the wintertime from us, which you invariably will, saying, hey, we need you to contact your senators, your representatives, you'll have a good understanding as to what's at stake and why it's important. Sarah, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, so we want you to come. We want you to bring your managers and reach out to your local elected officials, your representatives and senators that represent you in Frankfort, because they love to come too, and they love an invitation from somebody that's not just an email from me letting them know. They like to hear that personal note from their constituents.
Yeah, that's a great point. So those of you that have relationships with your folks that are representing you all, reach out to them, let them know what's going on. Obviously, along with this podcast will be the details, times and dates, etc., so you can forward as necessary. But these meetings I have found to be very productive in the past. We love doing them. We get a lot of great questions, and then there's lots of great follow-up afterwards. So be part of the conversation, be part of what we're doing, and don't hear about it secondhand. So I encourage you to attend, bring your key management folks. There's really room at the table here for everyone.
Absolutely. I want to shout out our sponsors who help make this happen. We've got 21 sponsors who really help us get this thing off the ground, and they do a great job. And some of them will be there to say hi too. And make sure that you register soonish if you can. We'd like to get a good head count to these facilities well in advance. So if you can register this week, that would be an A+ from us here at KADA.
Yeah, that's the other big ask. So get registered. I know you're busy. We know that. We understand that. Take a moment, click the link, register. We need a head count. We need to make sure we have enough food, all the important things if we're going to have these types of meetings. So we appreciate your time. We're not going to take a lot more of it here today. There'll be plenty to talk about in person, but please consider attending these meetings. And again, if you cannot have someone on your staff represent your store, you don't want to be on the outside looking in. You want to sit at the table so you have a really good understanding as to what's going on. So on behalf of KADA, on behalf of Sarah and myself, we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for your support and look forward to seeing you down the road here at our district meetings.